Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video, and I've got another 9.2 class change update. And this one was actually very surprising. There are a lot of good notes for Shamans and Warlocks in particular. Maybe not so good for Warrior and Shadow Priest and Balanced Druid in this one particularly. But if you want to stay up to date and not miss out on any of these changes, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I do my best to bring these changes to you in real time through my voice on this channel. And the goal of the channel is to be a resource to enhance your experience, or to maybe intrigue you into checking something out in the future or current patch of the game. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. The first surprising change here was actually to the Succubus pet of the Warlock. And this is most likely going to benefit Destruction Warlock in PvP, as Affliction sacrifices their demon at the moment, and Demonology usually plays with the Felguard. But now Seduction will be seduces the target, disorienting them and causing them to walk towards the demon. Damage may break this, but it's not guaranteed. So this could be used as a way to set up a trap. As a Destruction Warlock, you could seduce an enemy into the middle of the field and then Chaos Bolt and blast them down. Maybe pair it with an Elemental Shaman and Lightning Totem trap them in the middle of the map. It really, a lot is hinging on how fast the target moves while it's being seduced. You know, if it's casually just RP walking to the target, not going to be that great. If you're moving normal walking speed, this thing could be really spooky for PvP. This is a very unique way of kind of getting destruction bumped up a little bit that I was not expecting. You're also going to see buffs to Whiplash, which now just means that your Succubus is going to be doing 10% more damage to the target. So this is an interesting change for destruction that could potentially open up their viability a lot more when it comes to PvP. Now for the next round of changes, we've got the one that tilted all the Balanced Druids off the face of the earth. Sinful Hysteria is being nerfed, at least the legendary. Each time Ravenous Frenzy is applied, its duration is increased by 0.1 seconds down from 0.2. Additionally, Ravenous Frenzy lingers will not overcome you for 3 seconds down from 5 after it ends. I've seen a lot of Balanced Druids on Twitter very upset about this in PvE. Then I've seen a lot of countermeasures to it where why are the Balanced Druids freaking out? They have a lot of other covenants that they can kind of find refuge in. It seems to be really only PvE will be affected by this change, because Venthyr was not really looking that appetizing anyways at any point I've seen so far for PvP. So in PvP, you're dodging a bullet here. In PvE, this could be a big deal, and you may want to consider changing your covenant. Now for Shaman, Elemental, wasn't really expecting this nerf to Elemental. Ice Fury. Rather than your Frost Shocks doing 300% increased damage, they're now only doing 225% increased damage. If you're a PvEer, you're going to have to let me know if that's a big deal, if this was used, because in PvP, I feel like the last time I saw Ice Fury was Legion. So to me, this seemed very odd that this talent was getting nerfed, because I've literally I haven't seen it ever, at least when it comes to PvP, so I would imagine it has to be from PvE. But now the big winner of this round of updates was Enhancement Showman. They got a lot of personal attention, a lot more than they've gotten for a while, and basically the Fire Nova build is likely to return to them, and they're going to be getting a lot of cleave damage and a lot of damage buffs in general. So now your Lava Lash will cause your Flame Shock to spread. This will allow you to get more sustained damage outside of your cooldown windows in PvP, and allow you to keep pressure up against cleave targets. It's a big change for PvE. Scrolling down, their conduits. Look at all these buffs to your conduits. You're just buff city right now. Like, you're going to see buffs to Chill to the Core Potency Conduit. Your Frost Shock now has a 30% chance to grant 2 stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, 72% chance to grant 2 stacks of it, potentially open up some opportunities to use Frost Shock in PvP. Focused Lightning. Maelstrom Weapon increases the damage and healing of your next spell by 5% per stack, up from 1%. So you're going to be getting a lot of big healing surges. That's a massive buff. And then Magma Fists, Lava Lash has an additional 12% down from 15. However, at its max rank, it's actually 12% higher. Critical strike chance against enemies affected by your Flame Shock. And then Unruly Winds Potency Conduit. Wind Fury Weapon has a 15% down from 20. However, at its max rank, it's being increased by 15%. Chance to trigger a third attack. So you're getting buffed on your max end of these conduits by a lot. This is a really big deal. Your healing is getting buffed dramatically in PvP as well. And PvE, this is maybe going to put you on the map. We'll have to wait and see. But for PvP, it's definitely one that I'm keeping my eyes on. We also see that Frostshock's damage is just being buffed baseline for Enhancement Showman, and that your Chain Lightning is going to reduce the cooldown of your Crash Lightning, granting you more cleave. So in cleave mirrors where you might have been getting your head bashed in by Ret Warrior, maybe you're going to be the one bashing heads back. So Enhancement, this is a nice kind of overlook towards them, considering their viability in the game as a whole, and their damage being limited to that big cooldown window. This may open up more opportunities for them. Scrolling down further, we are going to see changes to Death Bolt for Warlock, for Affliction Warlock. So now no longer being that big your one-shot damage, it's going to be launches a bolt of death at the target, accumulating 50% of the remaining damage from your spells on the target and dealing it over 3 seconds. So it's going to just, and it's undispellable. You cannot remove this dot. So if the Warlock gets this Death Bolt on the target, it is going to be doing 50% of that total damage, rather than just immediately doing it all at once, and it's just going to keep rolling on the target. Still, the strategy is going to be to remove this, but this does play more into the fantasy of Affliction, of being about dots rather than a big heavy nuke. Still would have liked to see maybe some other changes to Affliction for PvP specifically, but this does give it a much more unique flavor rather than just being kind of a Chaos Bolt. That required a lot of setup. Interesting to see, but is as a slight nerf. I'm definitely more intrigued to see what happens with Warlocks if they go Destruction and they try out the Succubus build, and now you'll have the Incubus version if you would like to use it as well. And that is it for the class changes, but now we have a couple of set bonus changes, and this is where things kind of get sad face for the Shadow Priests and Arms Warriors, because it seems like they've more appropriately tuned your set bonuses. Previously there was big numbers like 1038% spell damage that have been kind of tuned down, and a lot of it on Arms Warrior as well. So your 2 set bonus for Shadow, Darkened Mind. Casting Devouring Plague has a 40% chance to grant Dark Thought. Casting Searing Nightmare has a 25% chance to grant Dark Thought. And then the Living Shadow, which is your 4 set. Consuming a Dark Thought causes your Shadow to animate, dealing only 26% of spell tower. Shadow damage over 8 seconds to all enemies within 10 yards of your target. So rather than this thing following you around, I don't know what that exactly means. It's just going to animate in place. I'll have to look and see what the set bonus is on the PTR, but it looks like it's going to be doing a lot less single target damage, but it will do AoE damage now, which is a big nerf in PvP specifically. And then for Warrior, your numbers are just all flat nerfed on your set bonuses. So rather than Tactician providing you 4% strength from your overpower up to 20, it's now only 2 up to 8. For your 4 set bonus, Colossus Smash lasts 3 seconds longer, increases your damage dealt to affected enemies by 5%, down from 10. So basically in half, more or less than in half for your Arms Warrior set bonuses. For Shadow, kind of wait and see how this ends up working out. I think it is a nerf for PvP specifically, but if there's situations where AoE damage is ever relevant, then maybe not. Affliction Warlock, it's definitely a nerf, I think, for your Death Bolt to do its damage over 3 seconds rather than all at once. It gives a lot more time to react to it, a lot more time to get those kind of instant heal recoveries to survive through the hit. But Destruction and Enhancement, definitely curious to check out to see what this new Succubus can do, if it can pull enemies into really good spots, favorable spots for the Warlock, or if it just ends up being this really slow RP walk that is really awkward and doesn't actually do what I'm expecting it to do. But other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this update. They have actually released a post saying that this may be the final build before the holidays. We'll have to wait and see, but that means that there is going to be a lot of updates, I would imagine, right after the holidays. So again, if you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to check me out live on twitch.tv/Supatease, I'm streaming every day at 11 a.m. I'm currently kind of addicted to the Mage Tower. I'm 6 out of 7. I've got 1 more left to do. So if you'd like me to see me dip into insanity, like the Shadow Priests are with these nerfs to their set bonuses, that's going to be the place to see that. And we also do a lot of PvP. I've helped over 60 people now get to their desired ratings on stream. And we just play and have some fun. So if you're looking for someone to play with, you're struggling to find someone to play with, we don't discriminate. We don't care what your experience is. We'll be getting you in there and we'll be having a good time. Other than that, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.